What's up, guys? It's your boys Awoki, back out with some more of the Chris Watts, Nicole Kessinger, Shanann Watts type video. This one is more Shanann Watts because apparently I have to continuously defend this woman again when it comes to her actually having had neck surgery before. We're also going to look at weird light effects in the Warrant search on body cam footage, which it's partly evidence they want to say. I don't know. We're going to watch it because you guys have asked me to watch this. And also there's a mysterious man in the backyard carrying a shovel away from the Watts house when the police are showing up and they do nothing. I'm not quite sure exactly about these videos because I've never watched them. I've just been getting these videos sent to me asking for my reaction and my input. So we're going to do that. Before we go any further, if you guys could do me a solid favor and subscribe to the YouTube channel by hitting that wiper icon down at the bottom right. Hit that bell icon next to it so I do post videos like this one. You guys will get that little ring notification that's Wookie myself has posted that video. And then you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And with that being said, we're going to be watching from Zav Girl. I know there's people that have their certain partakes on certain YouTube channels. If you have that, I understand. But we're going to be watching evidence that has brought forth, not about Zav's girl's personal life. That is none of my business, opinion. We're here for the crime. So if you guys happen to have discrepancies, I understand if you don't want to watch this video, but we're going to be watching the video because of evidence and entertainment purposes. Nothing against Zav Girl at all either. I've had a few people write to me about her past, and it's like, leave it over there. I don't want to look at it. I'm just here for the evidence of the Watts case. So they're like, well, do you like her? Do you not like her? I don't even know who she is. I'm trying to collab with her, but it's like some people are just trying to start drama, and it's ridiculous. And it's not going to happen. So, but with that being said, I really want to get into this and see what these videos show, tell us, and if anything is useful in these videos. So let's take a look. So the first one we're going to watch is the Chris in the backyard. He's carrying a shovel. It could be something. It could be literally nothing. So we're just going to look at it, possibly use it, not use it. You know the deal.
So I want to give a shout out to Veronica for sending me this email with this link of this new channel. The channel's name is Midnight Mysteriologist.
Love that
channel. They noticed some things on this body cam footage from, this was the day after, this was on the 14th. So this was Tuesday when they were trying to get the scent of the girls in Shanann. But anyway, this channel noticed a few things that I had never noticed. So, but of course this is my own video. I used my own Weld County files and edited together my own video, but I wouldn't have noticed it if I didn't see this video. You know, this video that Midnight Mysteriologist made. So they caught some interesting stuff. So I sent the creator, Midnight Mysteriologist, a message asking if they would mind if I, use their idea, their findings, because this is their findings. I wouldn't have found this stuff. I mean, it takes a lot of work to go through these videos and try to find these little details and zoom in. It takes a lot of time. So, and they were awesome. They said yes. They want as many people to see this, just like me. We want people to see this because this could be some information that, it's important to the case. I don't know. So let me know, let the, Midnight Mysteriologist know, when you go to their channel and subscribe. I'll leave the link in the description of this video. So yeah, go check out their channel. It's a newer channel, and they said they were working on some more videos, and even check out their video on this. Like I said, this is my own video. I edited it differently than how they edited theirs. And like I said, I want to be clear on this. They are the ones that found this stuff. Okay. So
I didn't see that.
I just happened to.
This video was sent to me, so I'm not taking credit for it.
Run across their video. Well, Veronica emailed me a link to their video the other day. So they're the ones that actually found it. So go check it out. Go check out, how they put together their video on it. You should subscribe because their other videos are good too. And they, like I said, they were working on some more videos. Okay, let's get into this. So the first thing I'm going to show you here is you'll see a white truck drive by back by those condos.
Looks more vanish.
Did you see that? So whose truck does that look like to you? Is this just a coincidence, you think, or is just some random truck? Because I thought that there wasn't anybody living in those condos at the time, so there shouldn't be too much traffic in and out of that area.
At least not yet.
Okay, so the next thing I want you to notice, it looks like there's a person that walks through Chris's backyard and then goes up the road right there by the condos. It looks like he's carrying a shovel, so here we go. Okay, so look right there. See where the inside of that circle is? Look right there when I press play and you'll see the guy walking right there.
Could he just be on the sidewalk and just coming out from that one sidewalk part over there? Or is it, I mean, it looks like he's coming from
Okay, so when
right
she bends down all the way, you'll see him walking right there on the street in between the two condos. And it looks like he has a shovel that he's laying like on one of his shoulders as he's carrying it.
Not trying to be mean police officer, but move! Yeah, it looks like a shovel. Like, are they taking the shovel away? Shovel that was used? I highly doubt it. It's probably the shovels that were in the back of Chris's truck. Who is the mysterious man?
Now that's circling around back there by the condos, I'll show you here. So
there's like, I'm trying to figure this out. There's a red car, there's a black truck, there's a white truck, a silver truck. I'm just like, oh my gosh. It's like, why don't we look into these vehicles? I mean, would it be that hard to look into what they have possibly seen or actually done the job and ask Nicole Kessinger what her involvement was?
I'm not sure if this person is getting picked up by the red car. Is he getting picked up by the white truck? I'm not sure, but right there, see inside that red circle, that's where the red car is right there. Can you see it driving around?
We just want to make sure that when the dogs go out on a trail, they're not following.
I think a few of these are just kind of like looking at
old. Usually it doesn't stick around for more than a week.
The evidence a little too much.
And the last thing I want you to notice is watch Chris kind of look out there like he's looking for something. He just has this look, watch.
He does have a weird look when he looks outside. That was kind of interesting. I bet that cop felt super, like, nervous. There's two police officers.
I'm sure they've asked her already, but she doesn't usually go out on hikes or... We've never been on a hike. Nothing
He does that a lot. Like, what are you doing? Man, all this that he could have had. Freedom, house, family, kids, wife, and you threw it all away for what? Some measly woman. No offense to the good women out there.
I'm waiting to hear something all day, all night.
You're too busy texting Nicole.
Reaching out, that's about it.
He's full of crap.
The house, I couldn't sleep at all last night. I just didn't feel right. And I'm used to my kids and Cece's in the high chair.
I really wish we could know what they're thinking. Like, he's like looking at this guy going, bro, we know you did something wrong.
I was right there, like, just, I missed them throwing chicken nuggets at me, honestly, last night.
This man.
Well, like I said, we brought in extra resources, so we'll do everything that we can to try to find your family for you. Everything we can.
They're grabbing something out of the fire pit, but what are they?
Her family also reached out to you?
Oh yeah, I mean, people I haven't heard from in years. I mean, they all.
What is she collecting? I never noticed that. She's collecting something.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It reaches all parts of the world, and it's a great machine most days.
Yeah.
For this type of stuff.
Exactly.
And Chris, did she drive her car from the airport?
No, Nikki dropped her off. On the white car, or that one parked right outside the door.
What did she
Did you
collect?
drive that car as well?
That one? No, that's Nikki's car.
Oh, okay. Does your wife have a car?
Yeah,
And do you drive it? Or did she?
last time I was the last one to go over to the pool party back.
Okay, so pretty recently.
Yeah, Saturday.
That's okay.
Okay, guys, it's the end of this video. So
I wonder why they were asking about the white car just now, that too. But what do you guys think she collected out there? She's got something in her hand that she collected, but I can't figure out what she collected.
everybody check out Midnight Mysterologist, because they're the ones that noticed this stuff. So
Man,
I thought it was
they're on it
kind of
too.
interesting, and I wanted to see what you guys all think about it. Let me know what you guys think. If you think it has anything to do with the case, or is just random stuff.
I mean,
and
it could.
just some random guy walking across Chris's yard
Could be
with
that too.
something laying on his shoulder. Could it be like the media or something?
I'm more looking into what she's grabbing and what she put in the bag. She put her gloves in there. She put the item in there. She was looking at the fire pit, which is kind of odd. And then they're talking about the car, and which is just interesting, and to say the least as well.
But I mean, why would he be walking back there? And there's no, I mean, why wouldn't he park up front? So I'm not sure. It's kind of weird. Just some random guy that walks across his backyard and then goes back there with something. I mean, he's carrying something. It looks like a shovel to me. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. And then that white truck, just a coincidence that one of the people we've been talking about has a white truck, and that red car that was there that morning, if it's Betty's or whatever you guys believe, but isn't that weird? All right, I can't wait to read your comments and hear what you guys...
Weird. And here's the other video that you guys wanted me to look into as well.
A couple things in this video for all the doubters: that Shanann had her spinal surgery, and go over the blood alcohol level thing real quick. I found a few articles. I just wanted to go over a few points, and then also there's this weird thing that I found when they're doing their warrant search. It might just be an effect from the lights, the flashlights, but it just looks really odd. So I want to get your guys' opinion on it. Alrighty, let's get into it. Because there has been people that have been claiming that she...
But the funny thing is too about her office is it was like ransacked. Like somebody was looking for something, insurance policies, credit card information. I mean, it was just, Shanann had her office pretty mint condition looking, and this looked ransacked.
She never really had her spinal surgery, and that she just made it up. And because on the autopsy, number one, they said that there's no mention of a surgical site, but there is, which I'm going to show you. And then number two, because they didn't mention her scar on her neck. But we all know that the scar is there. We've seen it on videos. We've seen it on pictures. So you can't really deny that. Obviously, they just missed it. They just overlooked her scar, probably because she had bruising on her neck from the manual strangulation. So they missed the scar. They forgot to, either they missed it or they just forgot to write it down. But you can't argue that it wasn't there because we all saw it. And some people were actually going as far as saying that she actually really cut herself on her neck to give her that scar, which is ridiculous. I think it's just so silly to even think.
Like they're looking into this when they should be looking at Chris and Nicole.
That. But like I was saying, one of the reasons they think that is because there was no mention of a scar on her neck. Well, don't you see the problem in that? The fact that you're saying that one of your arguments for you to believe that she didn't have the surgery and made it up and even actually went as far as cutting herself to pretend she had the surgery is because they didn't mention the scar on her neck. Well, if she cut herself to pretend, then she would still have the scar on her neck. Obviously, they just missed the scar or forgot to put it on there, because we know the scar was there. And we know that she had the surgery because right here it talks about the surgical site. So here's the part in the discovery, in the autopsy, in Shanann's autopsy section. It says spine. The spine has normal configuration. There is faintly visible hardware involving the anterior aspect of the cervical spine at the level of C6. There is no soft tissue hemorrhage or other abnormalities associated with this prior surgical site. Right there. And then you see the neurosurgeon bill. It'd be a neurosurgeon that would perform a surgery like this. So we see it's a bill for Shanann. So that just adds on top of the proof that she had her surgery. And then just to go over the blood alcohol level real quick again, because there's still people thinking that she drank. So we know her blood alcohol concentration was 0.128. I just want to point out the part where it says ethanol can also be a product of decomposition or degradation of biological samples. So remember, it's 0.128. So I looked up some information about it, and I found a bunch of articles, but I just picked three of them to share a couple things with you. This one I had actually shared in one of my previous videos. Okay, so it says blood alcohol scores after death can be false positive up to 0.20. In handling wrongful death and life insurance claims for clients, I learned years ago that blood alcohol tests after a person dies may not be reliable. Due to postmortem fermentation, when a body is not kept cool after death, there can be a false positive. Blood alcohol reports up to 0.20 grams percent to 2.5 times the legal limit of 0.08 for drivers and boaters in Georgia. Years ago, I was hired by the widow of a retired Army officer who drowned on a fishing trip. A life insurance policy excluded coverage if the insured was intoxicated at the time of death. What? An autopsy by the state medical examiner reported blood alcohol of 0.20 grams percent. But both the widow and her late husband's fishing partner swore he had nothing to drink. At first, we thought the county coroner, on whose property the drowning occurred, might have messed with blood samples. When I contacted an independent pathologist, I learned that fermentation could have produced the blood alcohol score. The body had been retrieved from a lake in South Georgia on a hot August day, laid out in the sun for a while, and then was transported by hearse in uncertain temperature conditions on an hours-long drive to the state medical examiner's office in Atlanta. That was enough for fermentation to occur. With that knowledge, we won. Why is that? So, sound familiar? Shanann's body laid out in the sun for 3 days. 3 hot August summer days. And in this case that I'm reading about, they're talking about maybe a few hours that it laid out, and on the trip having uncertain temperature. Shanann had 3 days of heating up, cooling down at night, heating up, cooling down at night. As discussed in a recent article,
we should be burying Chris Watts in the sand, let him cook, let him get cold, and then pour oil on him and let his body deglove itself, and then see how he feels.
By forensic scientist Jim Wigmore, over half of a postmortem blood is not sterile and contains bacteria, yeast, or fungi. In addition, postmortem blood sugar glucose concentration can be 7 to 10 times greater than blood before death.
Wow.
Fermentation is the formation of alcohol from sugar. Yeasts can convert 100 milligrams of glucose into approximately 40 to 50 milligrams of alcohol. Bacteria and fungi generally can convert 100 milligrams of sugar into 10 to 20 milligrams of alcohol. During fermentation, other volatile compounds such as acetaldehyde and N-propanol are produced and may assist in the determination of elevated blood alcohol scores due to fermentation or putrefaction. It has been well established for many years that blood alcohol levels at autopsy are valid up to 48 hours after death when solid protocols are observed in the collection and storage of samples. Alcohol levels in samples of blood taken from the intact heart are as significant as levels of blood from the femoral veins. False blood alcohol levels greater than 0.200% can be generated in autopsy blood samples which are not correctly stored. High blood alcohol levels may develop during putrefaction, and levels up to 0.200% do not necessarily indicate that alcohol was imbibed before death. And imbibed means to consume by drinking. So basically, it doesn't necessarily mean that somebody was drinking alcohol to have 0.200% blood alcohol level after death. And remember, Shanann's was 0.18. False high blood alcohol levels do not develop during incineration in absence of putrefaction. Here's another one, blood fermentation. The Cara blood sample once taken from the subject should be investigated. It is a common practice to let the blood specimen sit for days before analyzing it. Due to delay in getting it to the laboratory, to a crowded schedule in the laboratory, or to simple neglect. But blood is an organic material and will decompose because of enzymes and bacterial action. One of the results of this decomposition is that alcohol is created in the blood. In a sample originally containing no alcohol, decomposition can cause a reading of 0.25% or even higher. And Shanann's was 0.128. So this is even higher than hers, depending on the stage of decay. Usually the specimen will be refrigerated to prevent this. So not only could it have happened after they took the blood from her, but also before they took the blood from her, there was some decomposition, being out in that heat for sure. However, refrigeration will only slow down the decomposition process, not prevent it. To stop this decaying of the blood and the resultant formation of alcohol, a preservative such as sodium fluoride solution should be added. Failure to do this, and it is not at all uncommon, should provide defense counsel with sufficient material at least to discredit the test results, if not prevent their admission into evidence. Most blood alcohol kits used to collect blood samples for alcohol testing use tubes containing 20 milligrams of sodium fluoride to preserve the blood sample. The noted Swedish expert on blood alcohol analysis, however, claims that this is an insufficient amount to prevent fermentation. At least 100 milligrams should be used. Salting out effect of sodium fluoride and its influence on the analysis of ethanol by headspace gas chromatography. Let's see. Dr. Jones also found that using sodium fluoride to preserve a blood sample actually increased the amount of alcohol in the sample when gas chromatography was used to analyze it. According to his research, even 10 milligrams of sodium fluoride increased the concentration of ethanol in the equilibrated headspace by 8.9% when compared with hyperonized blood treated with an anticoagulant. This was due to a salting out effect from the sodium fluoride. Although many scientists believe that a preservative consisting of 1% of the sample is sufficient to stop the growth of microorganisms, many others feel that a 2% preservative such as sodium fluoride is required. Clearly, the risk of fermentation will vary according to the amount of preservative used. However, it will also be directly affected by the length of time the sample is stored and by the temperature at which it was stored. Sodium fluoride of 1% or less concentration is stable for only about 2 days. The collection and handling of the blood alcohol specimen and fluctuations from a storage temperature of 25 degrees centigrade will increase fermentation and production of alcohol. So I'm not going to read the rest of it, but it's basically saying that after they take the blood,
it's pretty much saying, don't be stupid, Shanann haters. It's ridiculous that you're trying to grab strings and pull things out of your butt. I still can't believe that there's people that blame Shanann. What is it going to gain? It literally shows in all this evidence there's no way in possible this woman had anything to drink.
there's a chance that it will basically give you a higher reading of ethanol than really it's in your blood because of the sodium fluoride, because they don't use enough sodium fluoride to stop the fermentation. And then they're also finding that sodium fluoride mixed with the chromatography is creating an increase of ethanol. So this, on top of her decomposing out in the sun for 3 days before they found her body. So that right there could have been enough to create the increase in ethanol. But then on top of that, after they took her blood, it could also be increased because of this procedure and the lack of control on this happening even after they take the blood out. So
all the facts are here.
I wanted to read this last part where it says bacterial synthesis. When somebody dies, the body produces ethanol as a product of decomposition. The production of ethanol within the body begins shortly after death. As the body begins to decay, bacteria grow. The bacteria produce ethanol by converting it from sugars such as glucose. The ethanol levels rise as the body decomposes, and the bacteria continue to reproduce, with concentrations approaching 1,500 milligrams per liter mere days after death. Distribution. Alcohol distributes itself through the body unevenly after death. The difference in water content among various body fluids and tissues causes alcohol to appear in higher or lower levels. Blood plasma, for example, has higher water content than whole blood, so it may show a 10% to 15% higher alcohol level. The gel-like substance inside the eye, known as the vitreous humor, on the other hand, seems to collect little or no post-mortem alcohol. Measuring the alcohol content in this fluid can therefore give the medical examiner a better idea of the pre-death alcohol level. And you've probably heard a couple doctors that looked over this autopsy that wonder why they didn't take any from the vitreous humor, because that would have gave them more of an accurate reading. But they didn't. They only took her spleen blood. Okay, so considerations. If the deceased person was involved in an accident or caused an event that injured or killed others, experts must take care to either confirm or rule out intoxication as a factor. Because alcohol production in the body after death is chemically the same as that from drinking, blood alcohol content alone cannot determine whether the person consumed alcohol before death. The alcohol level of the person's urine may not give an accurate before-death picture either. The vitreous humor sample usually proves more useful in estimating intoxication, but in the end, the medical examiner must take into account the body's weight, age, sex, fat content, time of death, and other factors. Okay, and there's many more articles you could find on this, but I just wanted to show you a couple. So I think that that's, in my opinion, that's exactly
really
what it was.
Contact or several of Shanann's friends to inquire about their knowledge of Shanann's alcohol consumption. That's what they're looking at, but they can't look at Nicole Kessinger?
Was because we see in the discovery that they interviewed her friends that were with her in Arizona, and they said she did not have any alcohol at dinner in Arizona before she got on the plane home. And
she's pregnant.
Sure, she didn't have any alcohol on the flight home. We would be able to see receipts because she would have to charge them on the plane. Everything's by card, so she would have had to charge them on her card. So we would see a receipt in her bank statements. They would see, the investigators. I mean, when would she have drank? She didn't drink after she got home that night because Chris would have said something, number one. Number two, there was no alcohol bottles or anything laying around in the house at all. So I think it's safe to say that it was just decomposition and fermentation. Okay, so now I'm going to play you the part of the warrant search that has this weird light thingy here.
Oh yeah,
I
wanted to see this.
There's actually two spots here. Okay, so there's the first spot. Okay, so I'm going to play it again in slow motion, and then I just found something else too. So I have two more things to show you after I play this in slow motion.
Hold on. When does it come up?
The part of the warrant search that has this weird light thingy here, I'll show you. There's actually two spots here. Okay, so there's the first spot. Okay, so I'm gonna play it again in slow motion, and then I just found something else too. So I have 2 more things to show you after I play this in slow motion.
That. Oh my goodness! What is
Okay,
this?
now watch that light right there.
Discord. What is we doing
Moves
there?
and then it comes out. So it's hard to put the arrows as it's moving. I have it
are
on really
those?
slow motion, but follow where you see that arrow. Now follow that light. What the heck is it? I mean, there's only 2 guys in there with flashlights.
What the crap?
See, this guy doesn't have a flashlight. That light that we're seeing right now is from actually the guy's body cam that we're watching, his flashlight. This guy just has a camera, and then the other guy has a flashlight too. And there's one time that it kind of looks like that there's another one. It's because his one is reflecting off the mirror right here. But besides that, there's only 2 flashlights.
So this guy is pointing towards the mirror. This guy is pointed towards this as well. So what is this thing that's starting to come up over here in the corner? What?
Lights. But if you look at the light sources when that happens, it's not, I don't know where it's coming from, that little thing that's traveling. And that wasn't even the original thing I wanted to show you. I just saw that afterwards. Okay, I'll show you that little speck of light again and try to, it's hard to point because it's moving, so it's hard to point at it, but I'll try to do the arrow where to start looking and then try to follow it. Okay, I don't know. Could just be some kind of lights reflecting off of something, but it's just kind of neat. It looks like a little sparkle. But that's not what I was originally going to show you. What I was originally going to show you is coming up here in a minute. I showed you that first part on the wall. Now there's another, like, actually a little bit bigger part on a different wall that's like the same thing. It's coming up here. I'll show you.
Could be just light reflecting.
Okay, I'll play that part one more time in slow motion.
So he puts it right on the mirror. Boom! That's when it showed up. So when he moved away from the picture frame, that's when it disappeared. So I don't think these lights have anything of substantial knowledge of anything, but it's just something interesting to look at.
Okay, everybody, let me know what you guys think.
So for those things that we looked at, one is the police officer. What was she grabbing from the fire pit that had to be ziplocked with the gloves in the bag? The weird Chris looking outside the window could be something, could be nothing. The mysterious man walking out with the shovel could be something, could be nothing. But that's for you guys to start talking below. Again, for those people that want to sit there and say that she didn't have a scar, or she didn't have, or she had alcohol in her blood because she was drinking. Like, what are you on to look at that when she looking at having Nicole Kessinger questioned properly instead of doing all this stuff weirdly about Shanann? It makes no sense. The weird light effects. It could be pretty much the flashlight because no light was starting to be apparent until the flashlights were turned on. So it could be just reflections. With that being said, make sure you guys comment your thoughts and inquiries and opinions down below. I surely love to read them all. If you guys have any Chris Watts, Nicole Kessinger, Shanann type videos that you guys want me to watch and react and put my 2 cents in, send it to my Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Preferably my Instagram. It just seems like it works better there. Again, thank you guys for watching. Please take care. Be safe. As always, keep nerding on, and we will see you guys in the next video.